Hello, I'm Sandy Balch, Pathfinder District's Eagle Board Chair. This video will cover the steps that a Life Scout needs to take to become an Eagle Scout. The first presentation will cover service projects to help you understand the requirements for a project to be considered acceptable. The next section will cover the project planning steps to be taken, including meeting with the Eagle Board to get your project approved. The final section will cover the process for completing your Eagle project report, approval of your Eagle application, and your appointment for your final Eagle Board of Review. If you have questions after the presentation, you can review the material on STL-BSA website under Pathfinder District. The website contains the links to the current project planning workbook and the Eagle Scout application. It also contains my contact information. I hope you find this video helpful. Now I'd like to introduce Cherie Crow, who will cover service projects.
Hello there. My name is Cherie Crow, as Mrs. Balch told you, and I'll be talking with you about your service project, what makes an Eagle project, and also how to pick one. I've been working with Eagle Boards of Review at the district level for about 20 years now. So I'm still going to work for some notes this morning so that I don't forget what I'm supposed to be talking about. The general requirement is that while you're a Life Scout, you should plan, develop, and give leadership to a service project helpful to any religious institution, school, or your community. The project must benefit an organization other than Boy Scouts. A project plan must be approved by the organization benefiting from your effort, your unit leader and unit committee, and the district Eagle Board before you actually start working on your project. This sounds like a lot. A lot of scouts get very nervous about their Eagle project. Don't, please. It's not that bad. There are a lot of people that are willing to help you. And you'll be working with a lot of adults through this process. And one thing you need to know from the very beginning is that they're there for two reasons. To make sure that your project is truly an Eagle project, that it meets all the requirements, and that you're ready to do that project and be successful. They're not there to make your life difficult or to say no unnecessarily. So if they suggest things to you, I promise you they're making those suggestions to make it easier or more efficient for you to get your project done successfully. What we're looking for in scouting is that you show us through your Eagle project that you've learned through the scouting program and other things in your life how to be a leader. That's what the people, the adults in scouting, are looking for. The people you do your project for are looking for either the product, if you rehab a trail for them, or if you make games for their young children to play after school. They're looking for that product. We're looking for your leadership. That you show us you understand the Scout Oath to help other people. So what does the Boy Scouts of America expect of an Eagle project? And the people you'll be working with can't change these requirements. These are the national requirements. Your project may not benefit the Boy Scouts, not even indirectly. It must help some other agency in the community. And that could be your temple, your church, your school. It could be a retirement home that has a garden that the people that live there benefit from, but it cannot benefit the Boy Scouts. And it may not be a fundraiser. Where many organizations need funding, and that is something that may be very attractive to them. But fundraising is only permitted on your Eagle project to pay for the materials that you'll need or to facilitate your project. And by facilitate, that might mean renting a posholder. It might mean paying for lunch for the people that help you. But you do not raise funds for the agency that you are helping. Okay, you need to be very clear about that. And if you're not, talk to your scout leaders, ask the questions. Don't go off and plan something and then find out that you've made a mistake on this. It may not be of a commercial or business nature. And the only way this can get confusing for you, because if you're working for a school or a temple or a park, you're fine. If you wanted to do a butterfly garden at a retirement home that one of your grandparents is now residing at, that might be a company that's making money on their retirement home, but they're not making money on a butterfly garden that the residents would benefit from. So you can do that, but again, ask those questions right away and make sure you're on the right track. Let's see what else. Your local unit needs to approve your project before you come to the district to get it approved. You have to have the approval of the people you're going to do the project for, from your unit leader and your unit committee. Then you come to the district board of review or Eagle board to get your approval before you start working on the project. Your project cannot be what we call routine maintenance. So for example, at your home, helping your mom do the dishes is routine maintenance. You got to do it every single day, right? Mowing the lawn for your temple would not be an Eagle project. That's routine maintenance. And they have someone, or hopefully they have someone that does that for them all the time. It must be a little more substantial than that. So think about, is this something that I would do every day, or we would do every day every week at our home? Then that's what we call routine maintenance. You must be a Life Scout before you start working on your project. You can certainly think about it and get ideas and be ready to get going, but you don't start working the planning and the actual selection of your project until you're a Life Scout. There is no minimum or maximum number of hours. Some Eagle projects take an incredible amount of time because they're very complicated and very big. Other Eagle projects are done in 1 or 2 days work with a group and don't take that much time. This can come up. You may think that your project isn't large enough. The measure is, does your project provide a real impact and benefit to the groups that you're doing it for? That's the measure of an Eagle project. So don't listen to any wild stories about, oh, you got to do 100 hours. No, there's no time measure. Now, the other thing about time that most Boy Scouts forget, and then it comes up at their final review, they forget to track all the time they do spend planning and organizing their project. So from the very first time that you say, I need to start working on finding an Eagle project, and you meet with your Scoutmaster, you meet with your school principal, you need to document all that time, because at the very end, you're going to be asked, how much time did you put in on your Eagle project? And most of the time, a lot of boys and girls and now will count just those hours that they spent on their work days. And that's not all the time you spent. You put a lot more time. And if you get all that, then at the end, you'll have a real idea of how much benefit you're really providing to that agency, that your project was a lot bigger and a lot more meaningful than you realized as you were doing it. Okay, so those are the requirements in general. Can't benefit Boy Scouts, cannot be just fundraising, and it must be approved before you do it. Okay, now we'll talk a little bit about how to choose a project. And based on my own experience, I'm going to tell you now the one thing that will make your Eagle project the most successful is if you really pick something that you care about. Too often it's another box to check on a form. I need to get this done. I have to get it done this summer. That's all may be true. But if you can find a project that you really and truly care about, you will be far more invested in what you're doing as you go through your project. It will mean more to you, and you'll be proud of it for the rest of your life. I've seen boys do things that were fine athletes who've done things that benefited another sports program in some way. Um, Young people that are interested in research and science have done some other things that were related to public health in some way. So try to find something that you personally care about. Maybe you've gotten into watching birds and the bird sanctuary, or any organization that cares about birds and the importance they play in our world could be of interest to you. So think about what will make it meaningful to you as well as benefiting the agency. I think that's been the difference between a project that was a lot of work and a project that really meant a great deal. There are a lot of ways to go about this. You may have an idea already. You may have been interested in something. You may value your grade school, but you can find ideas all over the place. You can talk to people at your church, at the local library, talk to other people who've been active in scouting. I thought the other day you might ask the scout leaders, what's the most interesting Eagle project you've ever seen? But start thinking about ways. Your parents can be a big help. Older scouts can be a big help. But do a lot of research before you pick. And then make a list of possible projects. And then again, pick a couple that are truly interesting to you, and make sure that it meets those Eagle Scout guidelines that I've given you above, and then talk with your scout leaders. It's important that you maintain some contact with your scout leaders as you go through this project. If your troop has an Eagle coach, be sure and use that person. Get to know them if you don't already. Talk to them, ask them about ideas, and take notes as you go through that. I'm going to get back to this idea of documenting your time. You really need to pay attention to how much time you're putting it in. Now, I've been tracking some things on my phone. Every night I make an entry of what I've done that day. That may be a way to do it. However, or you may use some kind of a notebook and write things down. But if you think you're going to remember it all, and you won't. So right now, as soon as you start tracking your time and talk to the people around you. Again, another mistake I've seen too many scouts make. They get to be 17 and a half, and they're pretty sure they understand the whole thing and don't really need any help. This might be a time to reconsider that and talk to your leaders, your Eagle coach, your parents, people that you know in the community, and find out what needs to be done. A number of scouts that I know have talked to their pastors and simply asked, what do they need to have done around their organization? And that's turned into a very good Eagle Scout service project. So we've talked about the requirements. I've talked about trying to choose a project. Don't start working until you have your life ranked. And then you get into the heavy duty planning of how to carry out an Eagle project. And that's all I need to cover with you, but Mr. Rick Valley will be discussing the project planning process with you next. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thanks, Sherry. This piece of the presentation is called project planning. Back in 1912, there was an engineer, a German engineer by the name of Werner von Braun. And he once said, we can lick gravity, but sometimes the paperwork is overwhelming. Well, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with paperwork and project planning. It's an important piece. The paperwork and planning is a very, very important piece. But the nice thing is the scouting organization makes it simple. There's a form to follow. And if you follow the form, it lays everything out for you. So what we're looking for is when you get the form from your unit leader or you download the form offline, is you put in as much detail as you can on the form about the various topics that it'll walk you through. So when you start that plan or that form, there's going to be a list of things to address, and it's going to be like a description of the product and who's it going to benefit. What's the budget? How are you going to give leadership? How many phases are in the project? What kind of materials? Logistics of transporting, supplies, safety issues, tools. And when you look at tools, one thing I might mention is in the scouting program, there are age appropriate tool usage. And there's this booklet called the Guide to Safe Scouting. And I would recommend talking to your Eagle coach or your unit leader about getting a hold of the Guide to Safe Scouting to make certain that you're following BSA protocols. Then the form will continue on and it will help you with, do you need to get permits, or is there going to be fundraising involved and what that might look like? So this form will walk you through all of these topics. Then you're going to come down to where you actually need to put your proposal together. So what this is where you give a write-up of what it is you're going to do and who's it going to benefit. You want to present that to the beneficiary. You're also going to present it to your unit leaders. You're going to present it to your unit committee. And ultimately, you're going to present it to the Eagle Board. Now, a few of the requirements that we're looking for on that proposal is, does it show planning and does it show leadership? And that's truly what we're looking for. We're looking for the youth to be the leader of this project. And then who's it going to benefit? Is it someplace in the community, or a school, a religious institution, a not-for-profit? We're going to look and make sure that it is feasible. And we're going to make sure that it can be done safely. And we want to see a list of all the steps that's going to be involved. And ultimately, what we want, since this is your signature project, we want to make sure that it's a positive experience for you. We want you to have fun with this. We want you to be proud of it and put your name on this project. So once you've got that proposal written up, you're going to want to get the proper signatures. So you have to go get the signature from the organization that's going to be benefiting from your project, your unit leader, your unit committee. Those original signatures need to go on to the original form. And I'm going to stress that original form, because that becomes a very important document with those original signatures. And when you come to Eagle Board, there's going to be 3 Eagle Board representatives. The chairperson of the Eagle Board is going to want that original, and then bring 2 copies, one for each of the other members that will be on Eagle Board. When you schedule that Eagle Board, you're going to need to call the Eagle Board chairman, call about a week in advance, and schedule your appointment. The Eagle Board meets twice a month. It meets on the 2nd Thursday and the 4th Monday of each month. So give a call about, a week in advance, and it needs to be the youth. The youth need to make that phone call, not mom, not dad, not my Eagle coach, not my scoutmaster. The youth makes that phone call, schedules that appointment, and then comes to the Eagle Board. So the Eagle Board is going to review your plan, and they're going to ask you questions. And also wanting to do is make certain that it covers those 5 topics that I just went over. So there'll be some questions and you'll provide some answers. And when the Eagle Board is done reviewing the project, they've got 2 decisions to make. They either approve the project, which happens in almost every case, or if for some reason it were declined, the Eagle Board would discuss why it was declined and then allow you to go make the appropriate changes. And then you just make those changes and then reschedule to come back, to the Eagle Board. It's rare that a project would be declined, but if it were, know that safeguards are in place to help you. Everyone wants to see you succeed, and that is our goal. So once you have your plan approved, that's when your project starts. You can't do anything prior to the actual plan being approved by Eagle Board. So no getting materials, no fundraising, no supplies, no starting until that plan is approved. Then once it's approved and you work on your project, you'll need to complete the final plan. And what that is that's a summary of everything that has transpired. And what the Eagle Board will be looking for is some detail on the project. How did it go? How much time did you put into it? And document the time, all the time in the planning, how much time in researching. Document all of your time. Put this final plan, together to make certain that you have everything covered and you're able to present your final plan back to your unit committee, even the beneficiary, letting them know about your project. And really, when it comes to all that paperwork and all that project planning, it's really pretty simple. It's no more challenging than, say, putting together a weekend camp out where you're going to make a supply list or put a duty roster together or a paper in school. Just follow the form, put that plan together, work the plan, have a great Eagle project, and hopefully we'll see you at Eagle Board. Now, I think I'm going to flip it over to Mr. Brad Hershey, who will discuss the final steps. Thank you.
Doing a project is an opportunity for you to demonstrate leadership, use your scouting skills, and hopefully have a lot of fun getting it done. There are several things to keep in mind as you do your project. Keep a log of who worked and how many hours they spent on your project. You can use this log as part of your Eagle Scout Service project report. Be sure to do the project as it was approved by the board. If you decide that major changes are necessary or the benefiting organization asks for changes that affect the nature or scope of the project, call the Eagle Board chair. If the changes are big enough, you may need to get approval from the board to make sure your project still qualifies as an Eagle Scout project. Document the changes that you decide to make as you are doing your project, along with any changes requested by the benefiting organization or the Eagle Board. Take notes as you plan and complete your project. The better your notes are, the easier it's going to be to quickly write your final project report. After the actual work on the project is done, you're ready for the last phase of your project, completing that project report section in your workbook. In this section, you will write about things that went well, what difficulties you may have run into, changes that you needed to make, and what leadership challenges you may have had. You'll also include the number of people that helped you and the hours they worked, any funding update, before and after photos, and any other applicable documentation that you would think might be helpful to us. The following requirements must be completed before your 18th birthday. You have to have been an active participant in your unit. You have to have shown Scout spirit. You must have earned all your required merit badges. You've held one of the required positions of responsibility. You've completed your service project, and you've finished your unit leader conference. The final steps on the trail to Eagle are completing that Eagle Scout application, writing your statement of life ambitions. And in there, we want you to tell us what you're thinking about doing with your life and let us know how scouting has influenced you and the goals you may have set for yourself. And collect those 5 letters of recommendation. Make your request for the letters early enough that you give people plenty of time to write them. The names and the addresses on the reference letters have to match the ones that you listed on the Eagle Scout application. Each letter must be in a sealed envelope. The references can be teachers, coaches, religious leaders, parents, neighbors, or employers. If you're not affiliated with an organized religion, then a parent or a guardian can provide the religious reference. Recommendation letters can come from other relatives, scout leaders, including those from your own unit, or other scouts and friends. Be sure to ask everyone that writes a letter to sign that letter. Complete and gather together all the merit badges and the cards that you're required to have for Eagle. Schedule a Scoutmaster conference, which once again must be completed before your 18th birthday. The Scoutmaster's signature must be on the project booklet and on the Eagle Scout application. You've also got to get the committee chair's signature on that Eagle Scout application. The unit leader and the committee chair signatures represent approval for the candidate to move on to an Eagle Board of Review. In providing their signatures, the signers should carefully check the application. Once they approve the Eagle Scout application, the following documents should be taken to the council office for review and approval before making an appointment with the Eagle Board. Take that Eagle Scout application with all the approved signatures. You need those 21 merit badge cards that you listed on your application. Take the statement of ambitions and life purposes that you wrote. Yeah, the completed Eagle Scout Service Project workbook has to be in there. And finally, those 5 letters of recommendation in the sealed envelopes. Once you've received approval from council, you can call the District Eagle Board Chairman to select a Board of Review. Pathfinder Eagle Boards are held on the 2nd Thursday and on the 4th Monday of each month. The Scout must call at least 5 days prior to the date of the board. The call must be made by the Scout. The parents or the Scoutmaster are encouraged to discuss any special needs that the board may need to take into consideration. The Eagle Board of Review must be held no later than 3 months after the Scout's 18th birthday. Once again, 3 months after the Scout's 18th birthday. At the Eagle Board, you will need to present the sealed letters of recommendation, your original signed documentation that the council has returned to you, plus 2 copies of that completed workbook with all the required signatures, the Eagle Scout application, and your statement of ambitions and life purposes. You should wear your full uniform and may wear your merit badge sash. That's your choice as to whether to wear that. You're encouraged to invite your Scoutmaster or your Eagle coach. The parents are welcome to come, but they've got to sit outside in the waiting room during the Eagle Board questioning. Be prepared to discuss your project in detail, any changes you encountered, how you showed leadership to others, and lessons learned in carrying out your project. The board's questions will be designed to help get them to know you, your leadership on the project, and your experience in scouting. Your project will be evaluated primarily on impact, the extent of benefit to the religious institution, school, or community, and on the leadership provided by you. There must also be evidence of planning and development. Take before and after pictures. We love the pictures. It's our best way of looking at what you've done and to get you talking about the things that happened during your project. There is no set list of questions. You can expect to be asked to discuss what scouting has meant to you and how the principles and ideals of scouting have helped make you who you are today. You will not be tested on scouting skills or trivia. Once the board has completed their questioning, the chairperson will ask you and anyone attending with you to briefly step outside of the room while the board discusses their recommendation. Assuming that you receive the board's recommendation for the rank of Eagle Scout, the board members will sign your application and return it to you. Your next step is to turn it into your originals into the Eagle Scout, into the council office. Please be sure to make a copy of that signed Eagle Scout application before you submit it to the council. We haven't had any lost yet, but you never know. You don't want to be the first. When your application is approved by National, you will become an Eagle Scout effective on that date your district Eagle Board meeting. You will receive a phone call when the approval comes from National. You are officially an Eagle Scout for the rest of your life, and you may schedule your Eagle Court of Honor. Your Eagle Scout Court of Honor cannot be planned or scheduled until after your application is approved and returned from National. This is a time of celebration. Your family can be involved in planning your Court of Honor, but remember, it's a troop activity. All scouts, parents, and leaders in the troop should be invited. For additional information regarding this process, you can go to the Pathfinder District webpage on the council website at stlbsa.org. You can also contact Sandy Balch, whose contact information is on the district webpage. The board is here to help you. We're going to do everything we can to help you earn the rank of Eagle Scout. Good luck.